text, audio, and video news of the globe from Scientific Television. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe with us. Thank you.
Now listen to the headline news. Decision time for Trump on Iran. But what does he ultimately want? They just kept killing. Eyewitnesses describe deadly crackdown in Iran. Le Pen's political fate rests on appeal trial opening in France. World central bank chiefs stand in solidarity with U.S. Fed Chair Powell. Why megastar boy band BTS never really went away. Australian novelist Craig Silvey charged with child exploitation offenses. Minnesota sues Trump administration to block immigration agents' deployment. Cold weather and data centers drive up U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. Senator Mark Kelly sues Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth over attempted demotion. Niger revokes licenses of tanker drivers who refuse to go to Mali amid jihadist blockade. Dismissal of Trump's $5 billion defamation lawsuit. The Indian superstar taking a shot at political greatness. What a new law and an investigation could mean for Grok AI deepfakes. Rubbish landslide death toll in Philippines rises to 11. Mandelson makes personal apology for continuing Epstein friendship. Now listen to the main detailed news. The United States is weighing its response to Iran's violent crackdown on protesters after President Donald Trump warned that Washington was locked and loaded to intervene if force was used. As disturbing reports and videos emerge despite an internet blackout, senior officials are preparing to brief Trump on possible actions. Options range from military strikes to cyber operations, while the world waits for his decision amid rising regional tensions. Widespread anti-government protests in Iran have been met with extreme violence by security forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and Basij paramilitary units. Eyewitnesses report protesters were shot with live ammunition, and bodies were stacked in hospitals and mortuaries across multiple cities. Internet restrictions and media bans make independent verification difficult. Thousands of civilians, including minors, are reported dead, while state media claims security personnel have also been killed amid arson and unrest. Marine Le Pen, the far-right French politician, begins a high-stakes appeal against a 5-year ban from holding public office after being convicted of embezzling 2.9 million euros of EU funds. The trial involves more than 20 party officials, with Le Pen seeking to overturn the lower court's ruling to qualify for the 2027 presidential election. The Paris Court of Appeal will hear the case until 12 February, though a verdict is not expected until summer. Central banks worldwide have expressed strong support for Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell following a U.S. criminal investigation into his testimony about Fed building renovations. 11 senior bankers, including leaders of the Bank of England, European Central Bank, and Bank of Canada, emphasized Powell's integrity and dedication to public service. The investigation, conducted by the Department of Justice, comes after repeated personal attacks by President Trump against Powell and his interest rate decisions. After a nearly 4-year hiatus, BTS, the world's biggest K-pop boy band, is set to release a new album and launch a major world tour. The band paused activities in 2022 so all 7 members could complete mandatory military service in South Korea. Fans, known as ARMY, have eagerly awaited their return, which follows carefully planned solo projects and staggered service periods that maintained engagement and anticipation for the band's full comeback. Australian author Craig Silvey, renowned for his novel Jasper Jones, appeared in court facing charges of possessing and distributing child exploitation material. Police arrested the 43-year-old in Perth following a raid on his home, alleging he had been actively engaging online with other offenders. Silvey, a father of 3, did not enter a plea and was granted bail during his appearance at Fremantle Magistrates Court, drawing widespread public and media attention. Minnesota has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration to block a surge of federal immigration agents deployed to the state. The lawsuit argues the deployment constitutes an unconstitutional federal invasion following the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good by an immigration agent in Minneapolis. Local officials, including Mayor Jacob Frey, claim the federal presence has caused chaos, increased emergency calls, and pressured city police, sparking widespread protests and national debate over ICE operations. U.S. greenhouse gas emissions rose by 2.4% in 2025, marking the first increase in 3 years, according to Rhodium Group analysis. Cold weather drove higher natural gas use for home heating, while coal consumption surged 13% to meet electricity demand. Data centers and cryptocurrency operations in regions like Texas and the Ohio Valley also contributed to rising electricity needs. Although solar power grew 34%, emissions outpaced economic growth and previous decreases. U.S. Senator Mark Kelly has filed a lawsuit against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, alleging the Pentagon tried to demote him in retaliation for criticizing the Trump administration. Kelly, a former Navy captain and astronaut, had filmed a video advising military personnel that they could refuse unlawful orders. The proposed demotion would reduce his retirement pay. Kelly claims the Pentagon's actions violated his rights to free speech and due process. Niger has revoked the licenses of 14 transport operators and 19 drivers for refusing to deliver fuel to Mali, where convoys face attacks from jihadist groups. The country had agreed to supply 85 million liters of fuel over 6 months, but militants from Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, JNIM, imposed a blockade, attacking tankers and disrupting deliveries. The fuel shortage has affected schools, transport, and energy stability across northern Mali.